There's different types of data that a user may want to place in a cell in a spreadsheet. They may place in a label, which I have placed in cells A1 through A10. Labels are traditionally textual information and often are used to explain what the data in the spreadsheet is or what it's representing. The second type of information is the data, which are values. Values are traditionally numeric, and I have examples of those in cells B1 through B10. You'll notice that the alignment of the information in A1 through A10 and B1 through B10 is different. Because values default to a right alignment, the cells in B1 through B10 automatically show up on the right-hand side of the cell. As opposed to labels, the default alignment of labels is left aligned. Therefore, you'll notice that A1 through A10 are on the left-hand side of the cell. This is what we call your horizontal alignment. This is what you're traditionally used to seeing on your toolbar in your word processor. There is a button on your toolbar in Excel or in Google Sheets that will allow you to change the alignment. So even though it's the default value is left or right, that doesn't mean it can't be changed. So let's say that I want to change the alignment from left align for A1 through A10 to center align. I will find the horizontal alignment button on my toolbar, and I will click on the center align button, which will move all the information to the center of the cell. One of the big differences, however, in using a spreadsheet application versus the word processing application is we have a secondary option on our toolbar called vertical alignment. Vertical alignment is where is the information vertically aligned within the cell as well as horizontally assigned within the cell. You can't actually see this with the default row height that we're seeing in rows 1 through 10. So I'm going to change that so you can see this more definitively. The default row height is set at 21 pixels. And to make this easier to see, I'm going to set this to a much higher value, and I'm going to go with 50 so you can see the difference. Now you'll notice when I set the row height at 50 pixels that the row height obviously got much bigger. And A1 through A10 is still horizontally aligned within the cell, and B1 through B10 is still right aligned within the cell. However, you'll notice in all of the rows and all of the columns, the information is being displayed at the bottom of the cell. And that's where your vertical orientation comes into, or your vertical alignment comes into a play. The vertical alignment allows you to align the information at the top of the cell, in the middle of the cell, or in the bottom of the cell. And that's what these various buttons show you. So let's assume for a minute that I do want my information horizontally to be center aligned in column A and right aligned in column B, but I want it all to show up within the middle of the cell. I will click on the middle align button and it will move everything up to the middle. So it is an equal distance between the top and the bottom. Not just an equal distance in column A between the left and the right, but it's actually right smack dab in the middle of the cell because it's equally distant. It is an equal distance between the left and the right and the top and the bottom. And this is how you use the vertical and horizontal alignment options.